Hey everyone, welcome back. So the Salsa Project is a platform preserving the culture and rich history of salsa for generations to come. It covers a docuseries, community engagement, and events for all to engage and learn about the essence of salsa. Joining us to discuss his recent trip to Puerto Rico along with his new merchandise and collaboration with the Bronx Brewery, we welcome Salsa Project founder, Brandon Espinosa. Hello.
Hola, Rina. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here with us on this rainy day, right? But the sun will come through on the days to follow, of course, after the rainbow. After the rainbow, I'm just being kind of poetic at this moment because it's just been really challenging for us all. And I would imagine it's been challenging for you, considering that the primary thing you do is coordinate events.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's it's one of those things that you could either look at the glass half full or half empty. And we've looked at it as half full and kind of have used this time to try to continue to push our creative juices, innovate and pivot so that we can continue the momentum that we had prior to the pandemic and keep our fans and our audience engaged.
Well, I want to congratulate you on creating this docuseries. Let's talk a little bit about that. Like, when did that happen? Obviously, this was pre-pandemic, and so now you have something to at least share with people visually. And I understand you have some pretty big names in this docuseries.
So yeah, we had the fortunate opportunity to throw our first event outside of New York City in March of this year in the beautiful island of Puerto Rico. And we went all over the island and immersed ourselves in different cultural experiences and had the opportunity to interview some really big names in salsa, to name a few, Eddie Palmieri, Michael Stewart, and engage with others such as Lalo Rodriguez, Rey de la Paz, and others. So this documentary that we recently released and worked on goes behind the scenes with me. So it's very much of a Q&A of me sharing kind of that experience with vignettes into the different experiences that we had on the island and speaking with people who are keeping the culture alive in their respective forms. So for the most part, the documentary ended up being more of a Q&A with these different windows into the island.
That's awesome. And so I find it so fascinating how you've been able to sustain the culture and passing it on to the next generation in such innovative ways, right? You were out in Puerto Rico. I understand that you also had your own event while you were out there. You got to meet all these really legendary salseros and or contributors to this culture. I also understand that you went to the Bacoa restaurant, right? And you also met with them. And I also understand that you visited with Ricardo Padilla, who has his own Museo de la Salsa. So what stands out for you the most in this experience?
So I would definitely have to say our event in La Factoria. Leaving New York City to throw an event on the island where salsa is so prominent at one of the top 50 cocktail bars in the world was truly a memorable experience. Within 25 minutes of opening the doors, our event was completely sold out. And we had Boogaloo Pete. We had a DJ here from New York City who's a friend of the brand named DJ J Boogie. And then we had a live performance from Tempo Alomar, who used to play with Roberto Roena, and a guest appearance from Geraldito Rivas, formerly part of NG2, and the son of Jerry Rivas del Gran Combo. So that would definitely be the highlight for us. It was so many people from all over the world because it coincided with Dia Nacional de la Salsa at Hiram B. Thorne in Santurce, which is a Coachella for salseros, if you will. $20 and you see the best bands in Puerto Rico. So we had that fortunate opportunity to coincide our event with that weekend. So there were people from Colombia, obviously Puerto Rico, there was people from Dominican Republic, there was people from Peru, all coming together around the sound of music and celebrating our beloved salsa.
That's lovely, and you got it all on camera. So how long is the documentary?
It's about 40 minutes. And the documentary, again, um, when we got back from the trip, we did a Q&A because the idea was to kind of learn more about me and my perspective on the music and why we do this and kind of what were some of those experiences when traveling to the island. And then we have on the documentary an interview with Carlo Navarre, who's up and coming salsero, who recently released his newest album, as well as the team over at Bacoa that's using food and their space as a way to preserve culture.
And so now that you're back in New York and now that you have this documentary already done, and since you've been placed on pause, right? Because you usually hold events and you teach people how to dance salsa and you educate people about salsa. I mean, that's what this project is driven on. How have you been sustaining yourself? I know you have merchandise, and I believe you have a collaboration going on with the Bronx Brewery.
Yeah, so merchandise and events is how we generate our revenue to continue our mission of protecting, preserving, and ensuring that salsa doesn't die amongst the younger generations. With that being said, we recently released pre-orders for our newest merchandise collection, which you can find on our website, thesalsaprojectnyc.com. And it was inspired by vintage concerts and a tribute to some of the icons. So we have a tea dedicated to Hector Lavoe. We have a tea called Las Reinas, which is a tribute to Celia, La Lupe, and La India. We also have a tribute to Los Soneros, Gilberto Santa Rosa, and Imael Rivera. And then we also have a tea dedicated to my favorite brand, La Institución de la Salsa, El Gran Combo de Puerto Rico. And then we also released our first ever bucket hat, and we have socks that are coming out as well. So
Medias.
Medias. So you can never go wrong with the necessities, right?
Right, because the Latinos, they wear the medias con chanclas.
So true, so true. So, the money we generate there will continue to be reinvested into new projects that we want to work on. And then coming out on Saturday, August 15th, we're really excited because we had the opportunity to partner with the Bronx Brewery to create a beer that's going to be called El Condado de la Salsa. And it was the first time that I had an opportunity to inspire and build my own recipe with our production team here at the Bronx Brewery. So it's been pretty incredible. And my wife had the opportunity to illustrate the label. So many different anecdotes and pieces that speak to our beloved salsa in the Bronx.
Wow, thank you. Awesome, Brandon. You got a family business going on there. Got wifey illustrating too. That is so what's up.
Hey, gotta keep it in the family.
Pues claro. And then you got the little one. How old is the little one now?
2.5.
Yeah, the last time we had him on, it was a newborn. That we had to get
yeah, she was months. She was months, and yeah, it's crazy how quickly they grow. She loves salsa. When the music comes on, she starts dancing. She plays the clave on beat, which is it just warms my heart. And
that's impressive. At 2 years old. Oh gosh. Well, it's wonderful. Thank you for all that you do and for continuing to preserve our cultura, and most importantly, for passing it forward. And blessings to you, your family, your business, and everyone. Stay healthy. Y gracias for making sure that we document el condado de la salsa.
Well, thank you for having me, Rena. Thanks to the BronxNet team. Y que viva la salsa.
Que viva. All right, you guys, for more on the Salsa Project, please visit thesalsaprojectnyc.com. And speaking of salsa, in collaboration with the Bronx Borough President and the Bronx Tourism Council, BronxNet will be celebrating the Bronx Salsa Fest all month long, showcasing best of the Bronx Summer Concert Series and more on Optimum Channel 67 and Files 2133 until August 30th. For more on the lineup, please visit bronxnet.tv. Okay, don't go anywhere. Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next.